Hey scrappers, Moose here again. So this video is going to be pretty much all viewer suggestions, looking for tips and tricks for new scrappers, or even some of the not so new scrappers. So first I want to start off by making a correction on the last video that I made. The credit should go to my subscriber called Lassiter, not Poozmate, and Poozmate is the one who pointed that out. So I got a question from a viewer, Jason Hare, asked where I get scrap. Well, it's pretty much everywhere. Personally, I get just about everything on ads that I place on Craigslist. I have put up flyers in the grocery stores, just basically free ads, and I'm finding that a lot more of the scrap that I'm getting is from word of mouth. I have one client that was very satisfied with what I did and put me on a community board online, and since then I've had at least 10 or 12 calls from that one posting. So that's significant. Let's see, tips and tricks and advice to new scrappers. Well, there's I guess 5 big things that I could say. One is talk to your scrapyard. Figure out what they take and how they take it. Once you know that, you'll know how to best organize and separate everything out. You'll know what to look for, and it's going to make it a lot easier. Second thing would be to organize. 5-gallon buckets is how I do it. It's super easy. You know that it's not going to be, I have back issues, and I don't know if I'm going to have foot issues, but yeah, if you put stuff in 5-gallon buckets, it's easy to keep it underneath your workbench so that you can keep things separated, and you know that it's not going to be too heavy to lift if it's just in a 5-gallon bucket. So it kind of helps to keep things organized. Some people who produce more scrap can use barrels. Whatever's going to make it easier for you to transport the stuff and keep it separated. Third tip would be to keep a bin of take-apart items. I know I get tons and tons and tons of comments from people who say, like on my videos about scrapping transformers and small electric motors, they say it's not worth the time. Why bother? You're getting such a small amount of copper. It's like, well, yeah, but I've done the math, and you are making more money with your scrap metal. The issue is time. You're spending more time, so what's your time worth to you? You, the viewer, you're the person watching this, you're the only one who can decide that, if it's worth it for you. But what I like to do is keep a bin of stuff to take apart, so that when there's not so much scrap coming in that week, or you have free time, you can take a bunch of stuff apart and make more money off of it. And let's see, number 4, keep learning. Oh my God, I'm learning stuff all the time. And it's something that I can't stress how important it is to keep learning. I have people who have been scrappers for decades, watching something that I've learned from a viewer, and they're like, oh, I never knew that. It's so easy to think that you know what you're doing, you know it all. But there's so much out there. There's so many different things. A lot of it's smaller stuff, but it's still things that, in the long run, will increase your income big time. Number 5, be consistent. It's very important that you be consistent with customers. If they're going to, if you want them to start advertising by word of mouth, which is one of the best forms of advertising, you need to be consistent. You need to show up on time. You need to be clean. Don't leave a big pile of rusted nails in the middle of their driveway. Make sure that you really pick up and don't leave there. Provide a service for them the way you would want the service provided for you. So if you were a person who had all kinds of stuff to get rid of, and you got someone to come pick it up, you wouldn't want them to leave a bunch of stuff everywhere. You wouldn't want them to leave tire tracks on your yard. You wouldn't want them to, just all these little things that just being consistent, considerate, make a world of a difference. Alright, so the next thing I have is, what are your favorite and least favorite scraps? favorites would have to be microwaves and computers. They're easy to take apart. There's lots of parts in there that can be resold on eBay. And if they can't, they still have components that are worth, decent scrap money. So those I would have to say are my two favorite. I mean, yeah, if I got something larger like a forklift, yeah, I'd love to scrap that. That would be my favorite. But realistically, it's not stuff that I get. My least favorite would have to be vacuums and garbage disposals. Ugh. The horrors, the absolute horrors I've seen and smelled. I had this garbage disposal that I scrapped in the wintertime, and picked it up. It was frozen, threw it in the trunk of my car, got into the garage, and as the garage was heating up, so was the garbage disposal. That was, wow. I tend to stay away from those for such little amount of copper. Just throw that right into copper-bearing motor pile, which obviously they're not all copper-bearing motors. They're electric motors. There's also transformers, inducers. I get that comment all the friggin' time too. And vacuums. I mean, every single nasty piece of dust, dirt, pot seed, dust mite, flea, anything. It's just freaking gross. With those things nowadays, I mean, I'll cut the cord off. Don't cut the cord off and leave it there. People hate that. All right, if you're going to take the vacuum, take the vacuum. But I'll grab it. I'll cut the cord off, and I'll look on the outside, because a lot of times there's things in that can be sold as parts, like the little rollers in the front that have the bristles on them. Parts of the handle. There's all kinds of little things in there that if you're crafty on eBay and on Google, you can find out the part numbers, how much they're worth, and resell them. So I think that's about it. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Mark Matthew. Thanks for watching. I want to thank all you guys who've been helping me out, and I've had a good half dozen of you guys who stepped up to help out while I'm still not fully mobile. Take a look down here. I've got the boot on, so I can take this off at night, which is nice. And today, or yesterday, was the first day that I could start putting a little bit of weight on it. But as one of my subscribers said, who I should lay off the French fries, because I'm a large fellow, I have to go in small increments. So I have to start off this week at 25% of my body weight, next week 50, then 75, and whatever. In 3 weeks I'll be walking again, so I don't care. So that's it. So thank you all for watching. Thanks to all those folks out there who've been helping out and who've been really great. And I want to also thank the folks at iScrap app. If you don't, everyone has a smartphone these days. I don't know hardly anyone who doesn't. You need to download that app. It's going to help you out big time. It's going to help you by giving you rough ideas on prices, if not actual prices for local scrapyards. It's going to help with identifying items. So it's free. I mean, how can you go wrong? So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.